So, Drew.
Seth.
What's the theme of our current D&D campaign?
The theme of our current campaign? Probably being beaten on by the DM.
No. You guys have been crushing it. Overall, the theme, we talked about it in an episode in the past. Our theme is kind of like sacrifice, right? It's kind of what we've been going with throughout this whole story. It's kind of what we fell into, I guess. Because of the nature of the story of Descent into Avernus, and then on top of that, just the way that characters have sacrificed along the way. Zach's character did a sacrifice for your character. 2 of Sean's characters have committed sacrifices. And, we can't forget that Patrick's character, Vera, sacrificed 2 lives at the beginning of the campaign.
Is that what we're gonna call? Are we calling those sacrifices?
Oh yeah, he sacrificed them right to hell. So we can't forget the atrocities that these characters have committed. But let's just say I was playing a very low key game. Not a lot of people have heard about. I haven't talked about yet on this show, Baldur's Gate 3. And my character had to do had to commit a sacrifice yesterday, and I'm on the final boss. I haven't done it yet because I ran out of time, but man, Schmidt the monk has had a crazy story.
Wait, you're at the final boss and you're sitting here podcasting with me right now, Seth?
So last night I was playing. I got to the final boss, but it was like time to go to bed because I had to wake up for formation the next morning. I was like, I can't finish this game right now because I know I'm going to be up for like 3-4 more hours.
You're crazy. I would have called me and said, I can't podcast right now. I have to beat this boss.
I am in front of the final boss door. I've learned 35 new Chinese words today. I did all of my homework. I may or may not have the time to do it tonight, but yeah, I'm about to finish this wonderful masterpiece of a game. I only had like 2 or 3 quests in the whole game that I ended up not finishing because I'm stupid. Yeah, so that didn't end up sucking, where I was like, man, there's only a couple quests here that, like, 1, I either locked myself out of, or 2, didn't feel motivated to go do. And it's been a wild ride getting here, but nonetheless, there are a ton of different crazy decisions you can make in the game. Sort of like how I kind of just I'll give you guys random decisions in character all the time that sometimes are like really big ones for the party as a whole. This was a massive decision, and I was like, all right, it's time for a sacrifice. And it was very emotionally impactful for me. So I can't wait for you to play this game.
Now it's still not out for Xbox though, is it? I haven't heard anything about it.
No, not yet, or else I would have already sent you a copy.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my copy. Send it over when you're ready, Seth.
Yeah, no, they haven't released it yet. It's out on PlayStation, to which I forgot that I had already had it like on PlayStation, and so I turned my PlayStation on the other day, and I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should just have Baldur's Gate 3 loaded up on this. It already was. Like, it was already ready to go, and I was like, oh, shit, that's there. Because I have it on PC and PlayStation, and also I may have. So I've got my full backlog of games that I built out on Steam, and I have a Steam Deck coming in for when I travel home this winter.
Okay, so that way you can still play Baldur's Gate.
I can play Baldur's Gate. I can play the Trails series because I do feel motivated to jump back into those. I finished the 5th one in the series, so we're making progress. But yeah, I'm very excited for anything. There are also rumors. There's been a couple of little rumors here and there that Critical Role may have some conversations with Larian Studios about a Vox Machina type of game or a Critical Role game. I'm not gonna push those forward though because they're just small rumors.
Wait, really? Whoa. Let's back up here. When did you hear that? I have not heard about this.
I've only heard that one. So first of all, Matt Mercer voices a very notable character in Larian Studios' game Baldur's Gate 3. And then there has been like a couple of little hints here and there that they've had talks during like interviews for the Vox Machina show and stuff with people about a video game in the future. But it probably wouldn't be anywhere near like full production. But it would be really cool to see. Now that I'm so into this genre, I want to play a couple other CRPGs like Divinity and Pillars of Eternity, stuff like that. I want to try those games out because I want to see how they compare to a game like Baldur's Gate where I know all these characters and have interacted with them intently.
Yeah, I'll have to see how the game goes. Once I play through Baldur's Gate and I get a feel for this type of genre, maybe I'll dabble in some other things. I'm just not sure where I stand yet because I still haven't gotten to play it, and I'm really really trying not to watch any gameplay footage or clips for it because I don't want any spoilers.
I would recommend watching a couple of those videos that are like, hey, 10 things you need to know before you start Baldur's Gate 3. I would recommend watching a couple of those just to know what you're doing, because jumping in as a first-time player, even knowing the mechanics of D&D, I was like, what do I do?
Okay. Well, maybe I'll look into this setup or like a tutorial for people who don't want spoilers, maybe they have one of those. Yeah,
probably good. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into our topic for the day. My name is Seth Pittman. I'm joined by my best bud, Andrew Romano. How are you doing today, boy?
I'm living life to the fullest. I'm sitting here podcasting. I have a bowl of cold mac and cheese, and it's a little rainy. But, hey, we're pushing on through. We're talking about D&D, which is always going to pick it up, especially as we're not playing this week. I need my D&D fix, so I'm ready to go.
I know. Neither of my groups got to play this week because the only time they could do was this afternoon today, so I told them I couldn't because I was going to be playing with you guys, and then now that I have so much stuff to get ready for tomorrow, I'm not playing with you guys either. So I didn't play at all this weekend.
I know. Last time I checked the group chat here, it looks like we may be doing a session 0 kind of a thing for the Theros campaign module that Sean wants to do.
Possibly. I don't know if I'll be attending that, though.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited to talk about some character creation, just because I'm thinking now with all this content coming out, I'm thinking about a lot of possibilities for, depending on when we start this. I don't know. We could start it next year in 2024 and be using 1 D&D rules for all I know. But I'm thinking about Spelljammer, and I'm thinking about the Theros world, so I kind of have some of the creativity juices flowing right now.
Now, I have had a lot of creativity juices flowing lately, and speaking on that, with the whole Greek mythology, stuff like that, I have been re-listening to, on Audible whenever I'm not doing stuff, the Heroes of Olympus series.
Really?
Yeah, I am almost through the first book, The Lost Hero, and it's so freaking good. Like, I forgot how good these books are. Where I'm listening to it as a full-grown adult and being like, man, I'm invested.
No, I think they're high-quality books. I know they came out, a long time ago, and I think they're probably more geared towards, like, I don't know, tweens or, like, young adults. I think they're fantastically written books. They have a lot of lore built into them. They give a lot of really good explanations on how this mythology has kind of built its way into the real world. I think it's really good, if nothing else, for some inspiration in D&D or world building.
Yeah, and all of the chapters, like the way their little quest lines go together, everything's arranged like a D&D campaign. Like, you don't realize it until you've played so much like of RPGs and stuff like that it's just a narrative version of that thing. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe the RPGs we're playing are more interactive versions of books. But like, listening to this story, I'm like, oh man, this would be a really cool way to bring in a villain or an encounter. Oh, this is a really cool idea here. The way they're describing the combat here, exactly how I would think of this person fighting. It's really cool.
To this day, I know we've talked about this before, the only book I have not read in that series was the very last one. I got all the way up to the last one, and then, I don't know.
The Blood of Olympus?
Is the Blood of Olympus the last one of the Heroes version? Because there's the regular series and there's the Hero series, which is all part of the same world.
Yeah, last one of Percy Jackson is The Last Olympian, and then the last one of the Heroes of Olympus series is Blood of Olympus. And then there's also a third series. I don't know if you know about this. Though? No. There's a third series for the Greek gods and Roman gods, which is Trials of Apollo. So apparently Apollo gets in big trouble with the big cheese, and they cast him down to like the mortal world, and he ends up at Camp Half-Blood. Crap. As a mortal.
When did this happen? I gotta check out this series.
I don't know. There's 5. I think there's 5 books in it.
I missed out. Okay. I'm gonna have to go to the library or something.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either. And then recently, I think in the last few years, there was a single book that followed up on Nico D'Angelo's story called The Sun and the Star, and it finishes out his storyline.
Okay, he did kind of. And I didn't read the last book, but his storyline was kind of left on a cliffhanger. So I'm interested to see where his story goes.
Yeah, so there's a book called The Sun and the Star that finishes out his storyline.
Okay.
So there's so much cool stuff in that universe, and listening to it, I'm like, these are perfect D&D inscribed worlds, like especially because of how I think simple it is, where you're like, okay, there's like one home base for all of these people that's already established, and then there's tons of adventures to be had in the real world. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. And whenever I finish those books and I get kind of hooked on the character storylines, I do wonder where they go from there. You know, I wonder where they're, because that's their 1 to 10, right? What about their 10 to 20? Where's the rest of their adventure go?
Yeah, I don't know. I think 10 to 20 they'd have to become gods, and I would stop liking them.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, because in mythology, everything kind of turns out for the worst. You know, like, there's never, like, a happy ending for the most part. Usually it's someone gets cast down, or they're cursed, or they made some terrible decision, murder their father, stuff like that, right? So I can't imagine there's happy endings for all of these characters, unless that's the theme they're going for, like the turning of the wheel. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and these being, like, young adult / like, kid books, it's crazy how dark some of the themes are.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it really is, where I'm listening to this and I'm like, man, that's tough for me to wrap my head around, and I can't imagine a 17-year-old seeing this happen.
And you just finished
what I mean?
And you just finished the first book. I remember I think one of the first scenes in the first book is Percy, not knowing who he is, getting attacked by was it a Gorgon or something?
No, that's the second book. That's the second book. The first book is Jason not knowing who he is.
That's right. I forgot about Jason.
Yeah, I love Jason, Piper, and Leo so much. They're such a good little trio. And then, like them meeting up with Annabeth and the crew. I'm like, oh, this is all so good. And the thing is, I haven't read the first series in a very long time. So I'm just kind of remembering here and there, like, okay, yeah, I remember Talia Grace. I remember this. I remember that. But I don't remember, like little tiny things, like how the actual hierarchy of Camp Half-Blood and how it works, and then like what you would describe it as. So then all of a sudden I come back to it and they're describing it all again, and I'm like, whoa, it's all flooding back to me.
Yeah, you probably get little pieces. I think if I were to jump into this new series, which I probably will now that you've brought it up, I think I'd have to watch some sort of Spark Notes review, something on the first.
No, you just listen to the audiobook versions on double speed for like 14 hours.
I feel like reading it would be more, I don't know, immersive. Although I don't
have time to read it. I don't have time.
That's the thing, I completely agree. I have no experience though with like audiobooks, and I don't know if I'd have the attention span to actively listen to it the whole time or not. I think I would have to be reading the book to get a full understanding of what's happening.
Like, I'll be practicing Chinese characters, like writing them down, and actively listening to the book at the same time.
Is there like a Chinese
or like,
mythology? I don't know anything about if there is.
Yeah, there is. We don't have to get into that though. That's a lot. Yeah, it's kind of wild too. I think this coming week is actually the Moon Festival. And fun little thing. I'm going to be giving a presentation to a lot of higher ranking individuals. So that'll be fun.
Oh, that's
about Chinese mythology.
That's fun. Maybe. Is it at least interesting?
Stressful. It's stressful. No. But yeah, so no big deal there. But yeah, I've been really into the Greek mythology and Roman mythology again. They're probably my favorites of the big bunch, only because of this book series by Rick Riordan. And I am freaking loving it, because obviously it's a very simple book. This is written for kids, but it's like watching like an old Star Wars animated show, right? Like, I know it's written for kids, but I'm still gonna love it.
And speaking of, you mentioned the show. When they came out with the Percy Jackson movie, oh my, I don't even remember how long ago this was. It was terrible.
The bad
ones. For anybody that has heard about the series and maybe they're like, oh yeah, watch the movie. Don't do it. The movie was bad. It had nothing to.
Dude,
I think they summed up books like 1 through 5 just did pieces. For like the movie, it was just terrible.
They're going to be doing an animated series on Disney Plus though, which I am looking forward to.
If they do a series though, at least they have time to kind of tell the story correctly. The movie was terrible. I think they might have even come with the second one that I didn't see. I would refuse to if it is out.
Apparently the second one was even worse.
I'm not watching that. There's no way. The book series is incredible.
Yeah, someone told me the other day, I was telling them that I was listening to this audiobook and they were like, "Oh, I saw the movie. It was pretty good." And I was like, "No." I was like, "Do not talk to me.
We're not friends anymore. Go away."
You know what? You're exiled from my life.
No.
Yeah.
I remember back in college. I don't even remember what sparked this feud, but we had this whole Pokemon thing going on where we were quizzing people on Pokemon. I had even written up it was like a 10-question test on like just basic Pokemon knowledge for people, and I was having them take it, and people were failing them. And I was getting so mad at them and like putting them on the wall.
We had the debate where I was like, I bet most normal people can't name 3 Pokemon, and you were like, no, they absolutely could. You were like, there's like 1,000 Pokemon, of course they can name 3. And almost everyone we went up to could not name 3.
It's one of the most popular things like in the world. Like you're telling me you can't at least describe 3 Pokemon to me, like the blue.
Everyone would say Pikachu, and then they would be like, what's the blue turtle? It's Squirtle, and be like, yeah, one more, come on, one more. You can do one more, right? And they'd be like, and they'd stand there for like 5 minutes, like being like, and be like, I'd be like, no, they can't do it.
No, I think those people were all actors. Everyone that we asked and couldn't do it, they were paid actors. Just to make us think that they couldn't do it. I don't know why.
It was just one of those times of me being like, I have this strong feeling, and it ended up being true. Like, nobody knew.
You know what? It was, I think we started doing because there was the written test with like 10 questions that I put together too. I think we had started doing it because I was running the Pokemon Go chat on campus, and someone wanted to take over, and I was like, well, if you want to take over for me, you're going to have to do this test.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You were like, yeah, if you're gonna be in charge of this, you're gonna have to take this test.
That was so terrible. But anyway, the reason I brought it up was that's what we should do. We should quiz people on their Percy Jackson knowledge.
Not many people are gonna. I probably would get those questions.
Oh no, I'd get them all wrong. Absolutely. You'd
like if you asked me like a month ago who like Piper or Leo were son/daughters of, I would have no idea.
I don't remember Piper at all.
You don't remember? Do you remember who Leo is?
Well, wait. Leo's not the same person as Nico. I think Leo is the crafty god. Is it Hephaestus?
Yeah, it is Hephaestus.
Woo-hoo!
You got it.
Look, I got a 10%.
Yeah. So I. And I am. I was playing around just in the Baldur's Gate character creator the other day because I didn't want to play, but I just wanted to like mess around. Mm-hmm. So I was messing around making a character, and I did end up making a bronze dragonborn named Happy, which is the English word for Festus.
Oh.
Like the bronze dragon from The Lost
Very
Hero.
Cool.
And I made a really cool bronze dragonborn paladin, and I was like, this is going to be so cool. I didn't end up actually playing him at all, but I made him.
I think when we play another campaign of sorts that's not Spelljammer, because I've already decided I'm going to be playing the Plasmoid. I'm addicted to it. I would like to be a Dragonborn at some point. My only interaction with playing Dragonborn is a lot of characters that I kind of NPC'd as a DM for some of my players, and I really enjoyed playing them. I thought they were fun. I thought they had cool flavor to them. I think I would do a Black Dragonborn just because I think they're kind of mysterious.
You know what? I've been into something lately, and I want to know if you've ever done this. So in video games, right? I don't often, the first time I ever got into roleplay was like in D&D. Like I had never really done it before. I'd never even like acted in a play before. But like with role playing, the first time I'd ever done that any sort of acting as another person was in D&D. And I've never made a character in a video game and thought, I am going to only make choices and act as this person that I've created would act, not as I would do. In pretty much every video game, it's always been like, all right, I know, like, technically I'm playing this person or I'm making a character that would act this way, but this is what Seth wants to do, so that's what I'm going to do. And, like, when I played through Mass Effect, I just assume my Shepard is the canon Shepard. I assume that the way that Geralt acts in... I don't like assign a personality to him. I just do what I want to do. But when it came to like Baldur's Gate 3 coming out, I made a character and wasn't vibing with the character so hard after 45 hours that I restarted because I wasn't vibing with how that character was acting.
Yeah, I feel
like I was playing it as him. And so then I started playing as Schmidt. I've never had such a fun time like in a video game in my life where I'm like, I made my character and like was having him and was acting as him the whole time. Like there were some decisions I was like, I don't think I would do that, but Schmidt would. And so I was making those decisions and I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this a whole lot. And now with Cyberpunk's update coming out this week, like later on, I think it's like Friday or Saturday, the big 2.0 update comes out with the DLC. And I was really into Cyberpunk last year, so I can't wait to like play more of it now. I want to do the same thing where like I make a character and I like role play as the character, you know, where like I just make the decisions that they would make. And I've been really into this in video games lately and trying to look for, okay, well maybe I should play Divinity and make a character and like role play as them. Maybe I should do it this because I've got it's such like a different experience. And obviously I'm not like, most of the characters don't have like a lot of voice lines and stuff like that. They don't have personalities assigned to them, so it's easy to like put in whatever you want. But it's been really fun playing a game and not just being like, you know, in Skyrim, you have your blank slate character. You're just still going to end up doing it. You're just going to do whatever you feel like as you go. And maybe it doesn't make sense for what your character would do, but you just do it anyways. I like the thought of doing these playthroughs where I just do what this character would do. Have you ever done that before?
You know, I don't think I have for the most part, or at least not before D&D anyway. There was the time when I was playing through the Walking Dead games with, I want to say, was it Clementine? Am I correct in saying Clementine?
Yeah.
Clementine, I 100% throughout that game acted in Clementine's best interest. I didn't care what the consequences were. I was like, no, Clementine's going to end up here alive. She's going to have a wonderful life because she's cute as a button. And I have to protect her at all costs. So that, I definitely did, I guess, role play that in a sense where it wasn't what I wanted to do. It was, I have to take care of Clementine, right? So that was kind of my goal there.
Yeah.
The only other time I could think that I did something like that was maybe if you count it in Skyrim, I played as Sir Mage, the ultimate mage. And I put all of my points in, I want to say, was it mana? I think it was called mana, where you could just cast more spells, so that when I was done, I had just no health whatsoever. It was complete glass cannon, but I could fireball like 100 times in a row before I ran out and had to recharge. So like, but even that's not really roll. That's me just saying, hey, I want to play Sir Mage and just max out my mana just for funsies. But yeah, I guess other than that, since I still haven't gotten the Baldur's Gate vibe yet, it's just really D&D that does it for me. And even when you're playing D&D, if you're not feeling a character, it hurts. I'm not sure if you've ever not felt your character like halfway through a one-off or something. I know I have. And it kind of hurts your soul.
I don't think I've played enough to feel that. I said I don't think I've played enough to feel that. I'm like, because I'm always the DM.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Man, I do just genuinely miss some characters that I never got to finish out. Like, the really cool thing about doing it in this way is I'm getting to see the ends of some character storylines. Like, in my head, like, after our journey in Lost Minds of Phandelver, Schmidt went to do this, and, like, this is the end of his story. Like, this is what happened. You know? Whenever he left Phandalin.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to me where I'm like, okay, this is the character I never got to see the end of. I actually just saw, like, I'm about to see the end of his story. And it's really interesting to see it in that way. And I want to, I don't know, I want to experience it more in more kinds of RPGs and games, because I've never, it's just a totally different experience. I can't even describe it really. I'm like, it's so much different than any way that I've played a game before. And I'm wondering if other people have done this in, like, I know people do it with characters that they make in any regular old game, but I've never done it before.
Now, are you talking about kind of getting closure for the character itself?
Yeah, well, yeah, seeing, making a character and seeing them to the end in the way that you write the character, as opposed to, like, the way that, like, it was a pre-written story, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and actually role-playing and acting as them in the game. Like, I made the decisions for them, not for me.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Like, this is the decision, like, you weren't making the decisions for Sir Mage and the combat stuff for the things that Sir Mage would do, right? You were like, oh, this would be fun to do, because I want to do it. But
I think that's truly like a D&D.
Like, there have been times that
I don't know a whole lot of games.
There have been times as Schmidt in Baldur's Gate 3 where I've been like, well, I wouldn't do this, but this is the thing that Schmidt would want at this time. Or like, there's a character who has a story arc that could go one way or the other, like good or bad. And in my head, I'm like, I really want this character to end up good. That would be really nice for me and him. But if the dice end up one way or the other, Schmidt would not give Schmidt would not give a shit either way. Like, so I was like, I could use inspiration. I could try to change this outcome, but either way, he wouldn't care.
Yeah, and maybe that's just the alignment of the character you play too. I'm excited for Gordo and Spelljammer to kind of be more along those lines. He's gonna want to bust some heads to get his pet pig. He's got to get his pet pig back.
We're level 19 now in the campaign, so it's crazy that we're sitting about 4 regular sessions and then our final session away.
Which is kind of nuts. I guess we have to kind of delay it a little bit at this rate, because we actually have been depends on how our schedules are going. It's because we have excluded one person for a few sessions. Yeah. So if we're able to play next week, either do another week after. I think we're going to be able to do 2 weeks and then maybe have like a week or 2 off and then finish out the last 2 sessions. And then we'll have I think in that month until then, scheduling wise, we can talk about Spelljammer, maybe do a session 0 with everybody, get everybody together, hey, final session's in December, we're planning for it, but let's get Spelljammer planned out so that way the week after I get back, right, we can start it up. I think more than anything, I really want to know when this handbook for 1D&D is coming out, because if it's coming right around the time we start, I'm curious if we're going to start using some of those rules or incorporating into that.
We're probably going to start beginning of 2024. I don't think it'll come out till fall 2024. But I also anticipate Spelljammer being a 1-year thing.
Which is exciting.
I don't anticipate it being a 3-year campaign like this one has been.
I'm trying not to think of it like that way though, because I really do want to think of it as a full-fledged, which I say full-fledged like it's not a long
it is. It's
thing.
It's like a 1 to 12 is what I'm thinking of it as. Just a proper adventure. Or a 3 to 12, because I'm starting you guys at 3.
Man, I really am excited for a fresh start. I'm just not ready to give up Pyth yet, or our current party, because I think our party just blends so well.
It's gonna be heartbreaking to end off this campaign, because I have enjoyed how it's gone so much. I think that we've really crafted our own narrative, our own space in the D&D universe, especially using Forgotten Realms to its utmost potential. Mm-hmm. Discovering these places was one of my favorite portions in the campaign was when we did the short stories, right? Where we did the 3-4 sessions with each character going off to do their own thing with new groups of people, new characters that are in the world now, and then eventually reforming for a common purpose of, hey, you guys are getting fucked with too? Yeah, I am too. Let's figure this out.
Man, those little one-offs, I shouldn't call them one-offs. They were really arcs is what they were. Those were fantastic. I completely forgot about. That's the crazy thing about running a campaign for so long, is that someone like you, Seth, you'll bring up those things oh yeah, I love those, and I'll get this rush of memories about how fun that arc was, or that whatever it may be, and you can continue because we play for so long. We've been doing this for 2 years, so based on anyone you talk to in the group, they're going to do the same thing, and you're going to come flooding back to these old memories of these characters, and that's how I know we've done a good job creating this space in the world that you're talking about. And not even that, but the other people in the arcs too. I still love Doorknob. Doorknob has a place in my heart. Right? What a good character.
Chalathander.
Yeah. I like Candle. Candle from was it Candlekeep?
Yeah, Candle
was a good one. Love Candle.
And you guys diving into parts of the Forgotten Realms that you guys will realize once we get into Spelljammer that this version of the Forgotten Realms is way different than the regular one, the one that I've crafted here, where we're using this world. But it's mostly I've borrowed landmarks in this world, and now I have created a story around it. I've created a history around it. Ooh. Because you'll realize once we get into it, oh shit, this isn't what we thought.
I really am excited for it. I'm nervous. I don't know how hard my heart's gonna break when we let go of this, because I would like to say, and Storm Kings was absolutely incredible. That was kind of at least for me, that was my first full-fledged campaign. I know you guys did some little things on the side before that. But I think...
But, I mean, it was my first full-fledged one, too.
You did. You did Raven Rock.
I hadn't played... Well, yeah, but that was an 11, 12 session thing, a little 1 to 5. That wasn't an epic, These are epics that we're crafting.
You also did Strahd, did you not?
Yeah, and that was also 13, 14 sessions, I think.
Okay, no, that's fair. Okay, so we'll say,
or maybe it was 20.
So then you understand that the Storm Kings, I mean, obviously for you were the DM, but it definitely has a place in my heart for sure. And I look back to it and I think back to it all the time and how much fun it was and the different things we could have done. But I think Avernus is, now that we're all, fully fledged good players now. Storm Kings was our warm up, right? Avernus was truly just a well crafted story, and I say it's not over, but I had so much fun with it, and I enjoyed this character so much, and interacting with, I mean, Sean's multiple characters, I suppose, but all the other people in our party, just really well thought out, fleshed out characters that I've had a lot of really good bonding moments with. I don't think you were a part of it, Seth. It was maybe a week, 2, maybe 3 ago, where it was just me and Zach on the podcast. I don't know if we mentioned Zach's not here this week. He's busy. He's not just sitting quietly this whole time.
He's just been quiet. He's just been quiet the whole time.
But we were just talking about like nostalgic moments from our characters and how they kind of interact with one another. And I have just had such a good connection with Zach's characters over time, and I hope that continues in Spelljammer. Because I think we bond very well together in role play, and even in combat, I think we work pretty well together.
The crazy thing is, I also, like, while I love that, I also find that I really want you guys to bond with different characters, you know? Like, I feel like Pyth has bonded with Hakili and Oswin really well in this campaign, so your characters have bonded really well with Chase's and Zach's. But I really want to see, like, you know, Sean's character bond with someone more. I think he bonded really well with Oswin this campaign too, or with Sean's character. I think that Patrick's character has always just been like the who knows what's going to happen with him, but at the same time, everyone's like, yeah, he's here. He's like our pet. He's here for us to protect. And then likewise, Chase's character has stepped up in the last like couple of months.
Yeah, absolutely.
To being like, to him having like some really good character stuff where like you see him confidently do something and then be like, I don't know how I did that. I'm panicking a little bit about it. Like, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, like, but I did it.
Most recently, that wish, the situation where we found out he had wished and he kind of accidentally wished for Varys to be okay. That was that was a great roleplay moment for him. Yeah,
and I think that we have had some. I saw a post the other day on Reddit about people who just wish that their characters would like at their table would interact, and I feel like that's something that I think we naturally got, and or like that I pushed at the beginning of Storm King is like, hey, if you want to say something, if you want to do something, I need you to describe it to me and or the other players. Like, you can't just tell me, yeah, I informed the whole party, unless it's like a really long excerpt. I want you to actually do it and like talk to each other. And that was something that like we pushed early on and has stayed that way ever since. And I feel like it's crafted like these like perfect narrative moments to where I saw some people online complaining like, man, what I wouldn't give for my characters to just talk for like an hour. Whereas last week, I had a whole session in Dungeon planned out, and you guys just talked for like an hour.
We also we golden path to Dungeon too. You know, give us a little more credit.
Well, yeah, and that was like just the way that the dice rolled and the tools that were provided. Like, especially with the way I ended up improvising too. Yeah, the dungeon ended up being a lot easier. The way that it was set up, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. I think the way it ended up was awesome.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I know we talked about this recently about the pacing of the campaign, but I think that's probably the thing that I'm most excited for not being in Avernus is having the ability maybe to take some more time and kind of joke around to roleplay a little bit more, because I feel like we are kind of, you know, we're tight for time right now. We got to do what we got to do. But I am excited to start a new character and just kind of like, oh, we're in a tavern. Oh, you want us to save your sheep that got loose? Yeah, I got that.
I see. You have a quest for us that's not related to taking out the Lord of the Hells? Okay.
I'll do that. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm excited to get a little bit more back to ground level 2. Being in a literal 3 to 20 campaign has been a lot. Writing, I don't know if you've done this before, but writing past like level 12, 13 is really difficult. I've learned a lot of lessons from it because I've learned that I can prepare something for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, however much time it takes, and you guys can pull something out of your hat that changes that completely. Where I'm like, and not in a bad way, it's in a great way, but like, yeah, I can plan an entire encounter, right? Where I'm like, oh, this will be a really cool encounter in a desert. You guys will be fighting these Titan-sized statues and like sand serpents, and then you can say, I summon 8 badgers and dig beneath them.
The badger.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you are in a desert. That makes sense. I guess you could do that. Okay, yeah. Well, you summon 8 badgers and you dig beneath them. And that ended up being awesome the way that it was. But those kinds of things are something that I feel like if you came out of the gate and said, all right, this is my first campaign and I'm gonna run it We're gonna go from level 1 all the way to level 20. You know, the D&D player's wet dream. If you were to tell someone that and everybody's so excited and you jump into it, I think they'd realize this is a lot harder than I thought it was.
And I think that goes for everybody too, not only the DM but the players. I mean, I think I have experienced firsthand the picking a wizard for this 1 to 20. I thought would be a great idea, and I have had a blast. I am beyond excited for more than anything else to just play a barbarian and hit things the next time, because once you're so high, you have to think so hard about your resources, and especially when it's a difficult campaign, you're running into a lot of lethal fights and situations that are kind of high stakes. It gets it gets exhausting for sure for the players too.
Yeah, one thing I can't wait for Spelljammer is for you guys to start out like lower leveled and less powerful again, and then I really want by the end at like level 12 to 13 for you guys to feel like you're having a totally different experience than you would like in a grounded campaign, like on foot. I want it to feel like, oh man, we're doing some crazy stuff flying around in space. We've got these magic items that we wouldn't be able to find on the ground, and experiencing something really unique, but also tying it into our overall story that is just like, if I can over the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, get you guys to a point where I can hit one like narrative note that I think will make everybody go like, what the fuck? That will make my entire career as a DM great.
Okay, so you're looking for that one really good session is what I'm hearing.
Well, yes, but I have a thing in my head, and I have a narrative plot point that kind of links the next couple of campaigns I want to run together and everything. But like not in a cheesy like, oh, these all tie back in and all the heroes are here. It's in like a over the course of time, getting to these plot points coming together would be really nice, and it's like a long play, Yeah,
we might not get this, for 5 years or so where something comes up.
Yeah, and I want to hit that point, but I want to deliver it correctly.
Yeah, don't rush it. Let it come out naturally.
Yeah, so and I would also look forward to after like a Spelljammer type thing, we're still going to have like otherworldly stakes. Fighting the Lord of the Hells is really otherworldly stakes. And then going into the next campaign, I want to hit those highs too, where it's like, oh my god, we've got to deal with something that is like astronomically crazy. And then I've been thinking about what kind of thing I would want to run after that, and I just want to really get a boots on the ground experience again. Like, okay, we're starting off from note number 1. Once again, you guys are helping out a small village with a small problem.
Oh yeah, I don't think we'll have any issue with that. I strongly suspect, because we've done the hell thing for a long time, and I'm still not burnt out of it. I still like it, but I'm ready, like everyone else, to do something different too. Spelljammer, I think, will be really fun for about a year, and I think after about a year, we will no longer want to be in space, and we will very strongly want to do, like I was joking about, just kind of the sheep herding thing, or fighting goblins in a cave, and kind of going back to our roots. I don't know where we'll go from there. I don't know what the adventure would be, but I strongly suspect I won't want to float in space anymore. I don't want to go back to our roots.
Now, speaking of that, have you looked at anything on Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk?
No, it's coming out really soon, though, or either that or it's come out in like the last week. I'm not sure.
So digital version is out. Physical version comes out this coming week or next week, I think.
Okay.
And oh god, I'm gonna have the book. I'm super excited to have the book, and I wish that I was in a place where I could run it, but I've already run Phandelver, and I don't have a drive to run that kind of story again right now, though I would like to run that setting at some point. Second, I know Mind Flayers are a huge focus, and I am almost Mind Flayered out. They're great villains. I think they might be perfect villains, but because Baldur's Gate 3 is so heavily focused on Mind Flayers, to also like your little opening cutscene is you're on a Nautiloid with a Mind Flayer. And the Nautiloid is like the Mind Flayer spaceship.
Gotcha. Okay, so I didn't know that.
So that's the entire, like, Mind Flayers are the entire like crux of Baldur's Gate 3. And then also we just did our big session with Mind Flayers recently. I'm like, I don't want Mind Flayers to be my main villain. Because you're going to go play Baldur's Gate 3, right? And you're going to know everything about Mind Flayers, and you're going to jump in and not get any new discovery. It's just going to be like, oh yeah, we have to take out whatever. I don't know the story of Shattered Obelisk, but it is going to be something like too familiar, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel it. I think you either go if you're looking for a villain, right? I mean, I think there's villains we haven't done yet, but we've hit some of the big groups. We've hit giants, you know. We've done some big bad drags. We've done beholders. As a large big bad, I wouldn't mind something kind of constructed, kind of like we did in Storm Kings towards the end, or honestly, even if it was like really heavily dragon based, because we haven't done anything that was like solely dragon per se, and especially from now to 2 years from now when we finish Spelljammer, I'm not sure how many dragons are in space. I think that new dragon book that they're planning on coming out with at some point will have come out. And I'd love to face one of those mega worms, or whatever they call them, the gigantic dragons.
The great worms,
I would love to face one of those. That would be really cool if they were a big bad.
Yeah, I mean, you've gotten hints towards that with Hundar. You know, he was doing stuff like that. He was trying to become one.
Yeah.
And then, what is it? We're going to go into Spelljammer, which a lot of the Spelljammer themes at the beginning, I'll say, are kind of politically driven, like so political intrigue, and then also like space pirates.
Yeah, I'm imagining kind of a heavy influence from Eberron sort of a feel when we were doing it.
I wouldn't say that, because Eberron is very like very steampunk noir, and we're going to be doing more like Space Odyssey / like Guardians of the Galaxy feeling.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's kind of I'm kind of going for Guardians of the Galaxy style vibes.
Okay.
/ like Cowboy Bebop, the anime. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop. We'll be going for stuff like that, where it feels very. You're gonna learn a lot about space. You're gonna learn a lot.
Oh no, I'm super excited. I do hope the big bad's like some sort of Galactus level threat, though. I think it'd be cool.
Oh, it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, that's kind of like. I've been excited for this kind of stuff for a while, and I know we've talked about it on multiple occasions. Just what we do next, what's gonna be the next big thing for us. When it comes to like 1D&D, I've been talking to Zach on a couple of our little solo episodes where you haven't been there. I've been like, I still don't know where I sit with it. Where like I'll get excited about one thing, but then I'll hear other things, and I'm like, well, that's I'm excited for like the patch note stuff, like Counterspell, for instance. I think Counterspell has needed a nerf for a long time, where it's really easy for either you guys to stop a 9th level spell or for them to like Counterspell you and stop a 9th level spell, especially with some of the crazy modifiers that they get as well as you guys. So it's really easy to stop a spell from being cast, even if you just use a 3rd level spell slot to stop a 9th level spell.
Yeah, it's true.
So I feel like that's been needed for a while. For the creature to make the save against the counterspell if they haven't used a slot that high. But then when it comes to everything else, I mentioned this to Zach last week. I was like, I just don't know how excited I am to get the same classes and subclasses again. There's of course going to be some new ones, but I just don't know how excited I am to just get the patch versions of the same classes, because regardless, I've always focused more on the narrative anyways, so the balancing has just always been up to like whatever I feel narratively fits. Is this going to be a hard fight or an easy fight, right? And that's kind of how I weighed it. I'm just like, all right, if it's a hard fight, I'm going to give them a creature with legendary actions, legendary resistances, and strong minions and stuff that can fight against them. Likewise, if it's supposed to be an easy fight, I will take 2 different types of creatures, throw 3 or 4 of them each at you guys, and just let you have fun. So, and so I don't really have problems with balancing in the way that I feel like these patch notes are going to be put out for. It'll spice it up, yeah, but I just don't know how excited I am to see someone make another, like just a slightly different Battlemaster fighter.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily for like veteran players or people that have been playing for a long time.
Right.
We found our niche in the space, right? We know how we play, we know what we like to play, and we know the homebrew rules that we're going to use. We've fixed the things that we don't like about the game. We run it the way we want to. And I think that takes a while to get there. All the new things that they're coming out with, it's really for the beginning players and the people that are getting into this game to understand it. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily excited or thrilled for these new things to come. It's more so about I love this game, and I'm glad to see that for the next generation of people that are playing this, that it's nice and polished off. Because as we play this game, I'm sure all of us could say one thing about, Counterspell, it kind of needs to be fixed. Like the guidance cantrip, it needs some work. Like there's spells, feats, dungeon delver feat. I mean, come on. Like there's a million things we can pick and pull out of this game that just need to be fixed. And that's kind of how I see all of these adjustments, is they're just fine tuning the game. We ourselves as experienced players are not getting a new game, and I don't think we should be thinking about it like that. We should be thinking about that
That's
this
fair.
is a polished version of the game we love, and it'll make it easier for everyone else to get in and play this with us. Nothing is going to change drastically for us. We're not getting... I shouldn't say we're not getting new subclasses, because we have already. We've gotten the... and we'll probably talk about this next week, but we're getting the World Tree Barbarian. We got the Dancing Bard that I can't remember the exact name of. We have the Brawler Fighter. So we are getting some new things out of this that I am excited for those sorts of things. I don't think it's necessarily anything I'm going to be playing in the near future. But this is also coming from me. I've been playing for years, and I still have yet to play a Warlock. So, there's still things I have to experience.
That's true.
I don't need this stuff to come out right now. Even if it wasn't coming out till 2026, I'm sure I have plenty of content to still play with at this point. So we'll see where it goes. But I'm happy to see the changes that they're implementing.
Yeah, what I think I'm most excited for is hopefully, because Roll20 is awesome. That's one thing out of this experience of me moving away and us having to play online that I've really loved, is the fact that when I go on Roll20, you guys and I can see everything that's happening, right? Mm-hmm. No more is the description of I tell you exactly what I'm thinking in my head. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, wait, there's a tree here? And I'm like, yeah, I just said there was a tree 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
No more does that happen, because I can just highlight it on the map and be like, see, right here, there's a tree right here there's a ledge. All of these, I know it looks like this on this map that I downloaded online, but these are actually like pods, stuff like that. I really enjoy that combat feels to me so much more fun whenever we have like an interactive map like that. Not that we didn't before, it's just that I would get tired of it in person whenever it's just the blank battle map and like us standing pieces up. I think all the minis and stuff are all so fun and interactive, but doing it online is so simple, I'll say.
I agree.
And as opposed to having stand-in props, I can show you exactly what it looks like.
There could be a lot going on in D&D, so I think the simplicity and the streamlining of the map, saying, this is exactly how it looks, it's definitely helpful. I still don't think it compares at all to being in person, although I do remember being in person, and I say remember it like it was so long ago. It really wasn't that long ago. But I do remember being in person and getting confused, like, I'm trying to keep track of this, and I'm talking to Patrick because he's in person right there. I'm trying to get hold of him, and I forgot that there's 2 trees over there. So, I get it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Being in person is going to be great when we do this final session. Also because I have all the stuff to have it there physically, though. Like, we're gonna have the map in front of us. We're going to have the pieces in front of us.
Yeah.
So it'll look right. So can't wait for that. Big thing is like... the one thing I really miss is the lighting, though. Remember when we had the lights up and I would click the remote and we'd be in that setting?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I did like the lights.
Yeah, I miss the mood. I miss the mood of changing the lights, seeing everybody's reactions of their faces whenever I would do something or say something. Mm-hmm. And obviously, roleplay is just a little more efficient whenever it's in person. So it's like a give and take. What I really want to see is how the virtual tabletop space changes over the next few years. I don't know about I still don't know how I feel about the Wizards of the Coast virtual tabletop. I haven't seen too much about it, but I have heard a little bit about it. And it doesn't seem like it's better or worse than Roll20. So if I already have Roll20 and I know how to use it and it's free, as opposed to paying microtransactions for things on D&D's virtual tabletop, why would I do that?
No,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
And it's easy for me to make a Roll20 token and toss it in rather than be like, all right, now I'm going to pay for the Green Dragon token. It's just a lot easier to use that. But I really want to find a good 3D virtual tabletop space, like a Tailspire, or if a mod does come out for Baldur's Gate that's like, hey, you can use the game as a virtual tabletop or something like that, because it would be so cool to have you guys actually trek through a dungeon. Because the reason I didn't do dungeons as in depth in the past was because I didn't have the map skills for it. Like I didn't want to draw out every single hallway, every single thing, and us be sitting there for hours just like having you guys move one space at a time to check for traps. I wanted it to be more like narratively focused and us have like a really cool story to tell. On Roll20, I've been able to do dungeons a lot better, but I still really want to have like that 3D interactive map.
Yeah, I guess the problem is with a 3D map, I don't know if all of us have the capabilities to run that kind of stuff yet well. But I do look forward to it a lot. I think that's probably the next step in our D&D careers, if you will, right, is kind of upping the ante there from just a flat 2D game mat to something that's actually a little 3D, more involved, more lighting techniques. I think that will be sick.
Yeah.
That's why I've always liked the idea of running a game in Minecraft, though. Which I will never do because it's far too time consuming to build the maps in Minecraft.
Yeah, you'd have to that's why I like being able to buy some of the maps on Roll20. I foolishly spent money on the Spelljammer Adventures in Space stuff for Roll20, and it didn't come with like a single map for the dungeons.
That's terrible. They come with anything?
So I was like, cool. So
like
now it came with it. No, it came with like the black and white diagrams from the Adventures in Space book of the ships.
Oh.
But so like it's like layered out and it has everything labeled as this part of the ship is this part of the ship is this. That's not what I need. I'm looking for an interactive map for you guys to crawl through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very disappointing. But that is what I would want is like for me to be able to spend like, all right, $15 and I get the set of maps that I need for this, right? If I could just do that, it would make it so much more simple rather than because right now for the stuff that I'm writing, which I love doing, is I'm finding a map online that works, breaking it out into pieces and setting it all up on Roll20 so you guys can crawl through it.
Which is cool.
And yeah, it's been cool so far. I do wish that the maps could just be bigger. Like I wish that it would fit a bigger size. Cause like the one map for last week, I had to break into 6 parts, right?
Oh gosh, okay.
Like, and you guys saw it whenever I took Sean's character through all the layers. I had the map broken up into 6 parts, and you guys had to load into the next section every time. I wish I could have just put that map in there and then put Sean's piece down and been like, all right, done.
Yeah, no, I can see how that would be a pain. I've never had to do that personally, but I can see how that would definitely be a pain in the butt. If you ever want me to make a map, let me know because I still have the map maker that I can't remember what it's called right now, and I'm kind of itching to make another map. I kind of just want to make something. I need that creative outlet of some sort. So let me know if you want me to create anything for you. I'd be happy to do it.
I think I would like to find like a Patreon or something of people that make maps. I know there are a bunch of them. And just go on there and just use like their stuff exclusively.
Yeah. Have you tried Good Old Gamer? I hear he actually has some incredible maps out on the internet.
Oh, Good Old Gamer.
Yeah, Good Old Gamer.
Is he the one that supports us over on patreon.com/tabletalkfriday where you can get post-show episodes every single week?
Yeah, it's crazy that you knew all that. That's insane. Yeah, you should definitely, anyone listening, you should definitely go check us out, patreon.com/tabletalkfriday. We can find all the great access, exclusive post shows, early access to all sorts of stuff. And we're also on the social media as well now. We're actually getting some consistent posts, so feel free to contribute to our community. Join on in with good old people like Good Old Gamer here. We love our community.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? Share the show with your friends, your family, anyone who's into the tabletop space, and give us a review on Apple Podcasts. Didn't even realize we had reviews going up over there, but we have like 13, 14, I think, already. If you end up writing a review, I'll do my best to like check in and read it out to everybody. But I think the only one that's written in so far was someone named the DM Seth saying how much he loves the show.
Oh yeah, no, that was a great review, and I will correct you, Seth. So I've been doing some marketing and some whatnot on my end.
Oh.
We have gone up from 13 to about 31 reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Wait, actually?
Yes, we actually do have. Are they all bots? I don't know. I'm not sure. But we have 31 positive reviews. One of them is Seth. So we have 30 positive reviews. So feel free to come check us out. We're clearly a highly rated podcast, guys. So, make sure you're digging in there and get some good value.
Wait, are they actually real people or bots? I don't know anything about this.
No, as far as I can tell, they are real people. I'm not an Apple podcast connoisseur of any sorts. But I'm digging in. We're doing some marketing. We're doing some social media stuff. So we're popping right now. We're doing good. Perfect.
I love it. I've enjoyed making the show. I don't think we've talked about it that much, but I would like to have a little heart to heart about it because I think we had a little group meeting a few weeks ago. What was it? Where we were like, hey, we're all adults now. Like over the past 2 years that we've been making this show, we have gone from being graduated college students trying to find jobs to full blown adults. You know, me being a Junren, a military personnel. You having your cool management job. I believe it's management type stuff, and then Zach being in his IT type of stuff. We've all got like adult jobs now, and we still have found time to do this together every single week, and it's something that's been really, like, I always know that this is, even though sometimes it feels like, all right, I have this obligation this weekend, I'm like, well, but I'm hanging out with the boys, so how bad could it be, right?
And that's how I feel about D&D a lot, and I would love for Zach to be here, and maybe we'll bring this back up next week, but I feel like D&D has always been that slot, podcasting it or playing the game, or even just talking to the boys about the game if we couldn't play it. Because I know we've done that before where we didn't play that week because we missed for whatever reason, and we'd still just be in the chat just talking about it. You know, like, I mean, heck, we even did those text sessions like years ago back in college. You know,
yeah. Whenever I did the whole text session while I was doing sound engineering at a show. Like, I'm the sound engineer for this show, and I am texting you guys prompts that are like, take me 20 minutes to write out, and I'm like, all right, everybody make a decision and I'll tell you what happens. And man, I feel like getting into something like this has been really meaningful for the group of us, as well as, you know, when we had Sean on as a guest episode, which I would like to do again, by the way, but having Sean on as a guest a few weeks ago and being like, hey, when did this turn into a lifelong thing for you rather than I'm just doing this in college? And he was like, oh, I don't know. It just kind of happened. And I was like, no, I knew immediately when I started playing D&D that I would always want to do it somehow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because I'm that kind of nerdy person where I was like, oh, I'm into this. And I was like, I don't think I can not be into this anymore because I'll feel like I'm missing out on something.
Yeah, I mean, there's only been a handful of those things in my life, and I assume yours as well, where you start doing those things, and after a little while, it's just like, yeah, I absolutely love this thing, and I'm just going to continue to do it. And I think D&D has just been that pinnacle thing in my life anyway, which is crazy because I've only been playing for a few years. But it really is that thing that I know I'm going to play this for another couple decades. Like, there's no way I can't imagine why I wouldn't. And if I took this out of my schedule, I don't know what I would fill it with that would bring me anywhere near the amount of joy that this game brings me. I couldn't tell you, really.
I love video games and RPGs just as much. Like, I have a backlog scheduled out. I'm that kind of person, Drew, you know it, that I like schedule things out very far in advance.
Yeah.
And I have a backlog scheduled out for video games. Like, I've treated it like a job because I love video games so much. I want to have the time to play all of them so I know what I'm playing over the next few months. Like, that's the other thing for me where, like, if I'm not playing D&D or thinking about it, I'm doing something like that in my free time. And I've always loved things like that. But yeah, D&D has been another level where if we didn't play this game every week, or we didn't have our group chat where we tried to at least plan it and do it every week, we probably wouldn't be friends with like Sean anymore, right? Like, I mean, we would be friends. We would know each other super well, but we wouldn't hang out anymore. We wouldn't do anything. Patrick would go off to do his music stuff. We would all have our big boy jobs. We'd have families. We'd go to each other's weddings, and we'd see each other like maybe once every 2 years, right?
Yeah.
But instead, now we hang out. We hang out every single week in this. I always get to look forward to it, and it's really crazy that something's able to bring everybody together like that. Because I know far too many people who graduated college and just left all their friends behind.
Yeah.
And while that's interesting, like, it is also crazy that Patrick and I have known each other since we were 9 years old, and we're still playing D&D together at 25 and 24.
Yeah, you guys go way back. I don't have a relationship with anybody else in our group that goes back that far. Everyone in our group starts in college for me.
Yeah, and it all stems from the fact that that one person asked us to play D&D. One of us said, or like Zach said yes, and then I got into it because I showed up to one session, and then I went around the cafeteria saying, "Hey, I'm starting a campaign. Who's playing?"
Yeah, Zach, if you were here, we give you credit right now for starting our group, but since you're not here, you get no credit whatsoever.
Zach told me so many times where he was like, "Seth, you have to come to this because this is something like really, really special." And I was like, no, I have too many rehearsals to go to. I couldn't possibly add another thing in. And then I went to one thing and was like, I got to do this.
I did the same thing.
I do think
you
that
were talking to me, and I was like, "No, I'm too busy playing Magic the Gathering. I couldn't possibly."
Yeah, and I think that I don't want to credit myself too much at all, because I think it took all of us being into it to get it to go this far. I do credit a lot of my personal like intense passion for things like this though, where I got excited and it made everybody else excited though, where I was like, I'm going to run this for the next year, get in or don't, you know. Or I was like, I'm going to be doing this thing, so you can either be a part of it or not. But either way, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, no, I do wonder though. I can't help but wonder if any one of us didn't proceed with that. Like, so Storm Kings, right, for example, that was kind of like our first big one. If Patrick decided not to pursue that, or Sean didn't jump in, how would our group have changed, or would we even still be playing? I don't know, because I feel like we have just such a special dynamic, and maybe I'm just being ignorant. I don't know. Maybe we'd all still be playing anyway, but I feel like we have such a good relationship with one another, and we all work very well, and we role play well, combat goes well. I wonder how far we would be going, or if there'd be someone different in our group if someone didn't take that place. I don't know.
I feel like we have the perfect group size, so I wouldn't it's hard to even bring anybody in or leave anybody out. At this point, I know we're gonna be a little more. We're gonna have to let Patrick kind of join in and leave whenever he wants. In the future, because his job is getting really really intense. Or at least he's getting really busy with it. And then there obviously are going to be times where one of us has a work trip to go on, or like one of us has to move, or one of us has to get married or whatever. And we're going to have to make time for those kinds of things. And that's just going to happen. But I'm curious as well as like what would have happened way back then if we hadn't decided, or if we hadn't decided as a group, like, because we did decide, hey, this is going to be a this year thing. We're going to try to do a whole campaign this year at school. And it ended up being a 2-year thing. But that was like hey, this year, every single Wednesday at this time during this school year, we are going to play D&D. Be there or be square.
Oh, that's right. We played on Wednesdays. That's so weird.
Yeah, we played on Wednesdays back in school, and then after that, we played every Friday once we got out of school.
I forgot.
And now it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Yeah, whatever day works for it. But that's the cool thing, though, is we love it so much. We're willing to have that flexibility on the weekends, nonetheless. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's been something that I miss it being an every Friday thing, because that's where the name of the show came up, right? Table Talk Friday.
Yeah.
Was like, Tape Friday is our day for D&D, so we'll release our podcast every Friday too. So that was kind of the story behind that. But I likewise, man, I also really want to try out. I still want to try out some other systems too. Like, I loved Monster of the Week when we did it.
Oh my god, Monster of the Week was so fun. I still think back to that session.
Yeah, it was so awesome. I still really want to do more of Monster of the Week, because it was very, very fun Scooby-Doo vibes that you guys were giving me. And then I also really want to try one of the other. I want to try one of Critical Role systems when those come out. Like Daggerheart, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I don't think I'm overly like hyped for it or anything, but I'll see what it's about.
I'm not overly hyped for it, but it's not the same as like a 5e system. It's a 2d12 style system. Have you heard about it?
No, I haven't heard about it much at all. No.
We can talk about it in another episode, but it's a different kind of RPG that's focused on long-term storytelling. So like it's focused on being as long as like a D&D campaign, but it's using a different style of dice rolling combat system. I still think for our campaigns we'll always use a D20 based system.
I like
just because it's very complex, but also for like these long-term games, it leaves a lot of room for variety, which I like a lot. And also I would like to try a short, like 3 or 4 session like little Pathfinder thing, just to see how that feels comparatively, because I heard combat in that is very fun, even though everything else, like story and narrative wise, wouldn't change at all. Like it's still just high fantasy.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've heard a lot of good things about Pathfinder, and I could be completely wrong, but I saw a graphic not too long ago that shows, I think it was 9 to 10% of the tabletop kind of industry is taken up by Pathfinder still, which is kind of nuts because it's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
it's like
dated.
I think it's like 40. Well, Pathfinder Second Edition isn't super dated. They just had another like big update, I think, to it, like another big book. Yeah, there's like 10% is like Pathfinder. I think still like half is D&D, and the other 40% is like different random games.
I'm surprised
which all
D&D's
hold
only
like
half. I feel like it would be a lot more. We'll have to look up the statistics.
It's the most popular one. Like, it's the one that everybody knows, and it's the one that like we all started playing, and I don't think that's gonna change.
No, I can't imagine it changing anytime
While
soon.
I have found myself, even though I'm still heavily in the like the headspace of Forgotten Realms and those books and stuff, like I have found myself being more interested in finding ways to tell stories using the system, while not really like going heavily into, oh yeah, I'm gonna support Hasbro with their with their books and stuff, because there hasn't been a lot of talk about their quote unquote business practices over the past few years, but it seems as though they are moving heavily into implementing AI DMs into their space for their virtual tabletop. And I hate the idea of trying to implement, like, I get it. If someone can't DM and you still really want to try and play D&D, it's worth a go. Like, try it out. But there's such a personal touch that tabletop games and D&D specifically have, that trying to replace the role of the dungeon master, which is probably the most crucial role in the game, with a robot, I hate that. It grinds my gears in so many different ways, where I'm like, dude, if at the very... I don't even know how to talk about it. Like, just the role of the dungeon master feels so important to me that I'm like, oh, so that's the one thing we're replacing, is we're just getting rid of DMs because there's not enough of them.
Yeah, no, it's super weird. I would almost rather it be the other way, that all the players were robots and the DM wasn't. But then that just
for
sounds
real.
sad.
Yeah, that's horrible too. That's also horrible. But I think there's ways to use it as a tool. But I still think that the heart of tabletop gaming is everybody is a person at the table creating a story together, not like this AI runs you through the story and you all make decisions. Because even so, it still has it probably has a directed finite amount of solutions, and I haven't done it. I can't say it's not going to be fun in some way, but I don't think it could feel the same. The improvisation, the human element of the DM being all of the other characters that you interact with,
I can't imagine.
I don't know.
It's weird to me, but I mean, I guess it couldn't be too different from playing a video game, right? I mean, the AI is everything you're dealing with. Is it
not
just
the same
a video
thing?
game?
It's not the same thing.
Is it
Now,
just a
if you
video game,
implement, yeah, I guess so. At that point, it would be. Now, that is something I do love the idea of, is a video game like a Baldur's Gate 3 having NPCs that run off of AI, so they can improvise their responses and not say the same thing all the time, right?
Yeah,
like you
true.
go into you run into a character and they say the same voice line over and over again because you've exhausted their stuff. What if every time you talk to them, they had something different to say? Or if you keep talking to them, they're like, hey, why are you still standing here? Don't you have something to do? You know, like if they interacted with you in a way that was more human, then I'd be like, okay, now I'm feeling what you're doing with the AI here. But making your game fully based online, strictly for monetization purposes, so that more players will purchase your materials, rubs me the wrong way.
Maybe we'll have to do another AI episode then, because I know we did one a couple months ago. Oh gosh, that was a while ago. Maybe our next episode.
Yeah, I've hit the limits.
Again.
There are a lot of things that ChatGPT can and cannot do that I have a lot of info on now. So I would love to delve into that again, because one thing it's really not good at is getting creative. Like, I'll be like, hey, it's good at coming up with game mechanics and stuff, but if I'm like, hey, I need a unique villain for this story, and I'll type out a little excerpt of what I want to do, and I'll be like, okay, now give me a summary of a unique villain doing a unique thing, like, and throw it to me, and it's like, here's the Shadow Master and what he's doing, and I'm like, no, the Shadow Master, that is not a unique villain at all. I need something different.
It's something completely different. Like, please.
Just stop giving me a shadow organization where everybody has the power to teleport between shadows. Like, I was trying to come up with a villain one point on ChatGPT because I wanted a stat block that I didn't have before, and every single freaking character it gave me had like a shadow step style ability, and I literally told it, I was like, okay, no shadow themes. I was like, no shadow themes. We've already done that too much. I need something different.
I wonder if I wonder how far it would go. Like, please stop giving me these themes. Something different, please. Ugh.
Yeah.
But hey,
All right.
I think that's something we could explore on the next episode, or maybe even in the exclusive post show as we wrap this up here.
Absolutely.
Thanks everybody for listening so much to Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast. If you want to listen into our post show, get some early access or other exclusive content, feel free to check us out at patreon.com/Table Talk Friday. Of course, we are on the medias as well, as we've mentioned before. This episode, I couldn't tell you exactly what it was about. We were supposed to talk about the one D&D stuff, but we kind of had a real chat between the boys. So maybe we'll call it the Drew and Seth Real Talk 2. I think we did one a couple months ago where we got kind of reacquainted as Seth had come back from the military. So let's I guess I'll pass it off to Zach, but Zach's not here. Seth, how do we want to take this out?
I don't. You know what? Why don't we just have the Shadow Master take us out?
Oh, okay. No, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. It was either that or
I'm the Shadow Master. I'm doing shadowy stuff. Look at me. I'm over here. I just teleported 60 feet away from where I was because that's like what a shadow monk can do. and I have a wispy voice because if I don't want anybody to hear me in the shadows. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening. Goodbye. I just teleported again. I'm over here now.